Hello, wonderful attendees. I'm your host, Dalvinder Kaur from Lovely Professional University. Get ready to dive into today's topic, that is crafting immersive journeys, stepping into the future of design. Before we proceed further, allow me to introduce the experts of the day. Dr. Balvinder Kaur Dhaliwal, Associate Professor, School of Computer Science and Engineering, Lovely Professional University. As an international speaker, she has attended, reviewed, and published numerous papers. Dr. Dhaliwal is a member of International Association of Engineers and a lifetime member of the Indian Science Congress Association. So now I would like to introduce Ms. Ishita Singh, UX designer researcher, faculty at Imagine XP. So now I would like to introduce the admission nominee also in this webinar, Mr. Deepak Upadhyay, assistant professor, having experience of more than 8 years in teaching and career counseling of students. Before we proceed further in today's session, I would like to request everyone, for any questions you can write in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and same will be addressed from my side in the end of this webinar. And now I hand over the thanks to Dr. Balvinder Kaur Dhaliwal and Ms. Ishita Singh, and it would be an absolute delight to listen from them. Over to you both.
Hello, everybody. I am Ishita, and I'll be the one who will be introducing you to the UX design and the design community altogether, and how we are moving forward in the design community, and how things have changed from where we started long back, and how things are moving forward. So, I would start with the presentation immediately, and we'll move forward from there. Okay. So when we talk about designing, we first initially start with the topic of like, what is design, where or how, and when we actually moved into this design culture, and why we are into it so much these days. So it all started with a simple thing which we called is problem solving. So when we talk about what is design, design is basically nothing other than problem solving, or finding any problem and creating a solution for it, which is basically in the form of, using creativity, aesthetics, functionality, and then, the culture reference, the societal consideration. Keeping all these pointers in mind, we decide about how and what solution should we create to solve a particular problem. So basically, when the first wheel was created, the Stone Age people, they were like, how should we travel from one point to another point? They had to carry heavy stuffs, and then they faced an issue like they cannot carry it on their shoulders all the time, or they cannot hold the things that they want to carry in their hands all the time. It was not possible. So, considering that they had so many products, so many things that they had to carry from one place to another, they had to come up with something that they could carry with. And that's how they were like, square shape is not going to work. We need something that's going to roll. And then they saw that a stone was very easily rotating down a hill or any flat surface. And then they thought, okay, we need to carry our things from one point to another. We can use these round objects under a plank where we can keep all our things. And that is how we basically created a wheel, which was round in shape. So basically, design is nothing other than identifying different problems in different areas or aspects of life and creating a solution, a creative solution for that particular problem. That is what we call design. Now, moving forward to uh, understanding what is UX design, before we even reach that phase, let's understand uh, which applications or digital product do you prefer? Most of the time, like in day-to-day life, uh, we are on social media, but we always have a preferred social media application as well. Sometimes it's Instagram, sometimes it's Snapchat. Sometimes it can be another app called Telegram or any other applications that you use in your day-to-day life. But it's always one thing that is preferred. Some people prefer using just Snapchat, some prefer just Instagram. Why is that preference there? This particular aspect we learn from something that's called as UX design or UX in general. So when we talk about what is a UX or what is UX, UX is basically nothing other than user experience. Um, Now, when we talk about what is a user experience, so again, we are solving a problem. So let's start again from the design. We are solving a problem. We know that there is a problem and we need to identify a solution for that. But how do we identify the perfect solution that is actually usable and feasible for everybody to use? How can you make sure that that particular solution is can be utilized by mass people? That particular answer is given by the term user experience. You need to study about how you can create the solution or what relevant solution you can create that could be utilized by the masses. And that study, that aspect is what we call user experience design. User experience design basically helps us understand how to create products that are meaningful and relevant, but also very easy and enjoyable for everybody to use. As we saw in the earlier slide, we were talking about Instagram and Snapchat. So we know that communicating via images is very easy on Snapchat, and but keeping up to date with what's happening in each other's life can be possible with the help of Instagram. So again, if you're talking about communicating through Snapchats or like real life updates, Snapchat is the best option. Whereas if you just want to be, just sit there and see what's happening around the world and with your family and friends and everybody, Instagram is there. So choosing which one is more preferable for you, more enjoyable for you, is what we understand from user experience design. Now, you might have heard other terms linked to UX design, that is UI design, graphic design, interaction design. What are all these words? Why do we always associate these terms with UX design? So UX design is a very big umbrella. We don't have just like one particular small category. No. UX design is actually very huge. And under the UX design category or the umbrella, we have multiple design uh, categories. The very first being interaction design. What is interaction design? Uh, Considering if you want to drink water, you need to touch or pick up your water bottle and you need to open the cap of the bottle, right? So when we have to open or twist the cap, the twisting motion is your interaction with the water bottle. So considering that is the interaction, who decided that it should be twisted and not just, just plugged up or moved up or slided out? How did we not go with all those options and we went for the option of twisting the water bottle? Where did that thought came from? That particular thought came from a interaction designer. He studied with uh, a lot of people and understood where and what is more convenient for people. So, plus for and what is best for the product. So, if we have, for an example, just uh, pushed cap, and you just have to pull it up, and the water bottle is open. If you have something like this, you know the water will leak. So we have our sippy cups these days. So we have a cup and we have a lid over it. So if we just pull the lid off, the bottle is open or the cup is open. But the chances of water spilling out of it is very high compared to the twist cap one. So if we have a twisting cap, the chances of leakage or the water spillage is very less. So this particular interaction was designed by an interaction designer. Same goes for, let's talk about your touch phone screen. Everybody has a touch phone screen. But once upon a time, we did not have that. We had a quittery pad. But even that has evolved over the years. How did that happen? Why we thought that quittery pads is other convenient will be your touch screen phone? Because uh, when we type, we are not interacting with the screen, we are interacting with the keypad. But when we are using a touch screen phone, we are interacting more with the screen, the overall environment created on the screen, rather than just interacting with the keypad. And then they realize that the chances of more creativity and innovation lies there. So that is how we changed and moved from quittery pads to your touchscreen phone. That is what interaction design is basically about. Uh, Now let's talk about visual design. What is a visual design? Visual design is nothing other than your graphic design. So I am pretty much sure that everybody has seen banners, posters, social media posts, and if you open certain websites, you see like they have these beautiful illustrations on them. What is all those things? Who creates them? They are called graphic designers, or we call them as visual designers as well. They basically create your visual designs, or they create your visuals or graphic elements that you need on your uh, screens, or for your posters, for your banners, anywhere and everywhere. Whatever visual elements you see is being created by none other than your visual designs. And that's why visual designs are a huge part of it. Let's take for an example. Have you seen those icons that we have, those wish list icons? A wish list icon is a heart icon. Then moving to cart icon. A cart icon is basically a shopping cart. All these icons were actually created by a visual designer. They are the people who actually design these elements. Uh, let's take another example. So, if you go on Snapchat, the logos that are created, the visual elements that are created. For an example, a dog face. Those all visuals are created by a visual designer or a graphic designer. They play a huge part in designing for digital products. Okay. Now, when we combine interaction design with visual design, we get something called as UI. Basically, UI is nothing other than your user interfaces. Now, when we talk about user interfaces basically means a screen or an interface which we can interact with. They are specially made for people. So, your mobile phones are there, your desktop screens are there, then your tablets are there, your laptop screens are there. all these screens or all these planes that we get is what we called interfaces. And when we combine these interfaces with interactions and visual design, we get something called as user interfaces. As in your applications, the websites, the visual element of it is what we call UI design or user interface. Uh, let's understand what's the difference basically. Okay. So when we talk about UI and UX or interaction design or visual design, what's the major difference and how do we combine all of them to create a, the best product available? Everybody has used or heard of glass ketchup bottle very early on. There were ketchup bottles that were always in made of glass. But these days we have mostly the refill packs or plastic bottles. Why there was a change? Why was it needed? So if you know, like once you are at the bottom of the ketchup bottle, the glass one, getting or squeezing or removing all the ketchup from the bottle is very difficult. So what happens most of the time is the and the ketchup is always remaining. We don't ever finish the whole ketchup bottle ever. That it has like coming from like users or people. When we talk about them, they always feel like if we have paid money for every ounce of ketchup, we would love to use every ounce. And getting that last part out is very difficult. But then there was one designer called Don Norman. He suggested let's make a squeeze bottle out of a plastic material. What happened here is once they switched from glass to plastic, the bottle could be squeezed. So getting the ketchup out took less effort and 99% of the time you were able to finish or clean the whole bottle out. You never had to think whether the ketchup at the bottom will be stuck there or no. That was not the case. So that's why like we started from glass bottles and later on we switched to plastic bottle and this was the reason why. Now understanding what is UI, interaction and visual design element. Okay. So when we look at this particular thing over here with the label UI, if you see the bottle, it's a model, it's a silhouette, right? So this particular basic framework, it can be a 3D framework or it can be a 2D framework, doesn't matter, but there needs to be a framework. That base framework is what we call as UI. It's an interface, okay? Now, if we add these logo and the visual element to it, that will become your visual design aspect. So we have got UI, adding to it will be your visual element. Then once you pick the bottle up and you squeeze the bottle, okay, that squeezing motion will become your interaction design. And after which, when you like feel good easily, if the ketchup is coming out you feel good, if the ketchup is not coming out easily you feel frustrated. That emotion and overall experience of using the ketchup bottle is what we call as UX design. Okay. uh, Now considering what's the difference between UX and UI, in the UX part, like which is mostly focused on the user experience and not the aesthetic part of it. Considering the experience part of it, we have interaction design, which we just went through. Then we have wireframes and prototypes. So I'm pretty much sure everybody have seen building blueprints and all those things, right? So when we talk about blueprints. It's basically a wireframe, a very basic structure of how a building will be built on, or where and how the building will be built upon. That the base structure is what we call wireframes for UI UX design. So that is one thing. So when we create the basic structure of how your app application screen is going to look like, what element should we add on it, and how it will interact with the users. All those points, when are spoken about, is basically your wireframing and prototyping category. And then we have something called as information architecture. When we talk about information architecture, it's basically something when we look at any application. Or let's talk about Myntra. Everybody is well known with the application called Myntra. So when we look at Myntra, at the top you can see the categories that are placed. We have men's, women, then we have kids, we have footwears, we have accessories. All these categories are at the very top. What, why do we keep them there? So basically, information architecture is something which helps us decide uh, what category or which element should be placed where. So, for example, now the men's category. So, under men's category, what all subcategories should be there. So it's basically a hierarchy structure which we use to identify on which particular page which content will be available for the users to access. Then going to user research is nothing other than uh, talking or talking to people and understanding what their needs are. User research is one of the most important part of creating any product. If you cannot conduct your user research, basically talking to people and understanding what their needs are, what their pain points are, meaning what difficulties they face in their day-to-day life, or while using a particular product, or what they want out of a product. If you don't understand what your consumers want, you cannot create anything for them. And that particular thing is done or made happen in user research. Moving to the UI side of it, we have visual design. Again, we spoke about it. Now, visual design has certain categories. For an example, we talk about colors. We have different colors. So, I'm pretty much sure everybody knows that the color white is the sign of peace, right? It's about honesty. It's about integrity. So every color has a certain meaning to it, and using those colors to communicate your emotions is a huge part of UI UX design. Then we spoke about graphic designers. Then we spoke about different elements that are used. So, for example, typography. Typography is basically what fonts should we use? What will be the size of those fonts? Will it be visually clear for our users or the consumers to read our content? All these parts are decided in the category of visual design. Now let's understand what is a good design versus what is a bad design. So everybody has uh, seen these tabs and utilized them. So when we have like twisting one, okay. So when we talk about the twisting design, what happens is not everybody can twist the tab. Not everybody could, like for example, aged people. Twisting tab for them is very difficult because they might have arthritis or other medical conditions. They might be weak or they might not be able to do it. Okay. But whereas we have just turning the knob. So when we talk about turning the knob, it becomes a good design. Why does it become a good design? Because it's very efficient for users to just twist the knob. They don't have to like completely like rotate the knob. It doesn't take time, so it is time efficient. It is strength wise also it's easier to use. Uh, Mentally, it's much more convenient. Like you don't have to like invest your mental capacity to just twist a knob or turn it multiple times. So overall, just the strength and the time itself can tell you that just the turn, uh, turning the knob type of taps are much more convenient and much more user friendly, and provides better user experience compared to the twisting and rotating knobs. Okay, then moving to that was a product. Now moving to the digital product, or you can also call this applications or an online application or website type of thing. So what happens is, how can we differentiate between a good design and a bad design? So over in the right, you can see that these shapes, they are not aligned properly, right? These things are overlapping. Uh, and when things overlap, it does not feel like correct. Also over here, as you can see, these cards, these squares, they are not aligned properly. And when they're not aligned properly, what happens is you cannot see a consistent format. Your eyes is going from down to up and then back down. That motion, that disrupts your thinking process and your grasping process. And thus it turns the whole design into a bad design, because there is no consistency, everything is not organized properly, everything is like having a different format or different layout added to it directly. So all these things considering that turns this particular design into a bad design. But when we talk about this particular card or this particular screen, you can see everything is organized in a very systematic manner. So this particular uh, screen is your good design. Again, as you would have also seen that you might have felt frustrated while using certain products, and you might be like, why this design has been made? It's not worth it. It's not good enough. So one of the examples would be, I hope everybody have used or at least heard of IRCTC website. That website is very frustrating because there is no user experience. Things are not aligned properly. They do not connect with each other properly. There is no consistency. And all these factors implement like you are frustrated using these apps. Then we have real life UX design examples. Let's take, we'll be talking about on the digital side. Spotify, everybody uses Spotify, but once upon a time, there were also applications called as Ghana, Savan. All these music apps were also available. But when Spotify came, you all switched from Ghana, Savan to Spotify. Why? Because it gives you the personalization that nobody can give. As in, uh, they create playlists specially for you, which again, you have a very hard time creating uh, different playlists according to your mood, but it automatically creates your playlist for you, and you don't have to think much. They just see what types of songs you're listening to, and they will give you that particular. They also like make sure that they greet you all the time. They have this communicative style which puts users or their utilizers to a, like a very ease mode, and that's what people like, to be easy and efficient with things. Moving to Snapchat, same points like Snapchat we have already discussed. Then Instagram Reels. People love scrolling, and because you can scroll and consume content quickly, we prefer Instagram Reels. Now we have different emerging technologies in UX design. One of them being AI-based voice interfaces. Alexa, Siri, Google Gemini, all these voice assisted AI technologies are nothing other than the emerging technologies in UI UX design. So people with certain disabilities, maybe for example, people who cannot see, for them to read content is a bit difficult. But if they hear it, it will be very easy for them to use. So that's why AI based voice interfaces are becoming a huge part of our day-to-day life. So basically, you can just call them up and things work out. You can literally switch on the room's light and switch them off just by a voice command. Then we have AR, that is augmented reality. So Snapchat is one of the biggest example for AR. Basically, what happens is AR is nothing other than on your real life, they will paste something that is your real life. So, for an example, on Instagram, you can, sorry, on Snapchat, you can get those bunny ears, right? So, how do you get those bunny ears? What they do is they take a picture of you, which is a real life picture, and they add something real that is artificially added or just like graphically added, visually added to the image. That particular element is called AR. So over here, you can just scan the room and place a sofa to see if the sofa is working. So it's now seen in for shopping, and even Lenskart has it. You can try on spectacles on Lenskart. So that is one example. Then we have VR. VR is basically nothing other than, you just get into a different world. The whole reality of your situation changes once you put on your VR glasses. It's a very exploring stage, and people are getting a lot into it these days. Then we have personalized based on AI. Again, when we discussed about Spotify, Netflix was also one of the examples where you basically see that and they recommend you about what is happening. So if your likes, they see what your likes and dislikes are, what you're watching and what you don't prefer to watch. Um, and accordingly, they give you recommendations. So this personalization is also a huge part of UI UX design. Then we need to understand what UI UX designers do. So very first is they are UX design. So what UX designer do is they are responsible for creating digital or physical products both. They conduct user research, and according to the user research, they create solutions from the problem they have identified. Then we have UX researcher. These UX researcher, they are only responsible for conducting user research. User research is basically, conducting interviews, conducting surveys. So Google Forms is one example of how you can conduct surveys online. So UX researchers are basically user researchers who conduct user research. Then we have UX writer. So on an application or a website, you see all the content, right? The labeling, the headers, the briefs, the body, all these content is written by a UX writer. It's their job. Then we have UX strategist. What happens is these people basically they understand what's happening in the market. They understand the needs of the market and accordingly design a solution that is worth for the market. So we call them UX strategist. Then we have an information architect who creates basically information architecture, which we studied earlier. Then we have interaction designer, and then we have a UI designer. They are responsible for combining a lot of things which interaction designers make, visual designers make, UX designer makes. They put all the things that we have already done and collected in the previous professions on one page. And with that, I finish my part. I hope it was interesting and informative for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Ishita Singh. So now I would request to the admission nominee, Mr. Deepak Upadhyay, to be on the screen. Over to you, Mr. Deepak Upadhyay.
Thank you so much. So, I think now the design you can now just focus
Mr. Deepak, sorry for the interruption. Can you please switch on your video, Mr. Deepak Upadhyay? Yes, you can continue.
Right. So good afternoon to all. And in the coming discussion, I will explain you about the accreditations, approvals, and the process to take the admission in LPU. What is the LPU official website? And I request all the attendees to be focused for the upcoming discussions. So please, ma'am, just let me know once when my screen will be visible.
Yes, sure.
Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, this is visible. You can continue.
Right. Starting with the wonderful achievement that we are having, as Lovely Professional University receives highest NAC grade, that is NAC A++, given by Ministry of Education, Government of India, with a 3.68 score on a 4-pointer scales. This is the highest scores in the first cycle of accreditations among all the government and private universities. Then talking about the another accreditations, we have ACBSP USA, and then we have UGC approvals, UGC DEB for Distance Education Bureau, NCTE for education programs. Then we have PCI for the pharmacy programs, Pharmacy Council of India, COA, Council of Architecture for architecture programs. Then we have Bar Council of India approval for the law programs like integrated law and LLM programs. Then ITPI, Institute of Town Planners, Indian Association of Physiotherapists. Then talking about the membership, we have many membership like AIU, Association of Indian Universities, then International Association of Universities, that is IAU membership, then Institute of International Education. And even we have ACU also, Association of Commonwealth Universities. There are so many accreditation and membership that we have. Now talking about the another part, that is the ranking of LPU. And I'm very glad to share that we received 23rd rank in the World University Ranking 2023 among the top universities of India, both government and private. Talking about the discipline-wise ranking, we received second rank in business and economics, sixth in engineering, eighth in clinical and health, ninth in computer science, 12th in life sciences. Then talking about the another ranking, that is Guri ranking, World University with a Real Impact. LPU received. Then this is the another ranking, Atal ranking of institution on innovation achievement. We received the third rank. As LPU not only believe on the academic development of the students, we believe on the overall development of the students. Like in the academic also, they can develop their skills. Apart from academics also, co-curricular activities, other activities they can participate. And because of this, you can see our student will be able to create this history. As 12 out of 13 LPU students won Olympic medals, 1 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Such a wonderful achievement. Then we were the champions in the 37th Inter-University Youth Festival under the aegis of AIU New Delhi. Then this is the another achievement in the Maka Sports Trophy, that is Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. We were the first runner-up. Now this is the view of our campus. This is a massive capacity auditorium inside our university. This is a well-equipped lab we have inside the campus. This is a view of our library facilities. where a student can go and just study over there also, and can issue a book also from there. This is the view of our uni mall that is also inside the campus only. And this is the inside view of our uni mall, where a student can go and buy their day-to-day need products. You can see. Now, gym facilities also there inside the uni mall. Sports activities are there. And we have uni hospital also inside the campus, where doctors are available 24/7. And even we have ambulance facilities also. We have a capacity of 25 beds inside the campus and in the uni hospital. And you can see we also believe on saving the energy for the future, as massive capacity of solar panel has been installed inside the campus. Then this is a view of our campus. LPU is having such a lush green campus that you can see in the images. This is the night view of our campus. This is the view of our indoor sports complex. Shooting, volleyball, basketball, squash. This is the Olympic size swimming pool that is available inside the university only in the indoor sports complex. This is the aerial view of indoor sports complex inside the university. Now let's go live and understand that what is the process to take the admission in LPU in any program. Ma'am, please let me know once again when my screen will be visible.
Yes, it is, sir.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Now this is our university website, lpu.in, very easy to remember. You can open lpu.in. IN is for India. You can very easy to remember. When you can go to admission option, there are so many options are there, right? You can go to admission, and this is a list of the programs that we are offering after 12th as a UG programs, undergraduate programs. If your qualification is 10+2, you can just look for these options. If you are a graduate, then you can look for PG programs, and these are the options available. You can choose as per your ease, right? And let us suppose you are 10+2 pass out and you want to search for the program for UG, and you will just click on this regular program, for example. Then it will ask you for so many disciplines. Like you can see, it will ask for engineering, management, law, CSE, commerce. Let us suppose you have selected this design as a discipline. Now it will ask for so many things: interaction design, interior furniture, multimedia and animation, film and TV production, so many, right? Let us suppose you click on this interaction design. Now this is the program that we are offering after 10+2 in this discipline, interaction design. When you will click on this, be design, user experience, the page will open, which will contain all the detailed information related to this course. Now you can see it will show you the duration, 4 years, 8 semesters are there. Now starting with the eligibility criteria to take the admission in LPU. What is the eligibility criteria? Very clearly mentioned that we need 50% marks in 10+2 with English as a subject to be studied by the student, subject to qualifying LPU Nest. LPU Nest is actually a national level exam conducted by our university. This is a lovely professional university, National Entrance and Scholarship Test, or CVT, or UCED, or NID DAT, and UG NIFT or NIFT BFTET, right? So these are all the eligibility criteria that we need for the admission in this particular course. Now, let us suppose you want to see some highlights related to this program. You will just click on this. Click to know more about the department school. When you will click on this, you will be able to see this page, which will contain all the detailed information related to this particular discipline. Now, when you will scroll a little down, you will be able to see the vision, mission, placement, our alumni, their placement, companies who has visited and offered the different packages to the students. And here you can see all the rankings related to this particular discipline and overall as well. And even you will be able to see here programs also that is offered after 10+2, graduation, post graduations. Then you will be able to see academics. So many things are there inside a single page. And here the faculty is also visible related to this particular discipline. You can see, right? Now when you will scroll this page little down, you will be able to see the curriculum that is easily available in our website. When you will click on some particular discipline, particular course, you will be able to see the curriculum. This is the first year, second year, third year, fourth year curriculum is available, you can see. And when you will scroll it down, then you will be able to see the fee of this particular course. Now the program fees per semester will be 1,20,000 without scholarship, but we are offering the scholarship based on the many categories, like starting with LPU Nest and the percentage in the last qualification. So there are three cutoffs in LPU Nest, and here it is clearly mentioned that if you will come in category 1 cutoff, you will be offered 25% of the program fee scholarship. Applicable fees will be 90,000 rupees per semester. Now, similarly, if you are having, let us suppose, 95% or above in 10 plus 2 also, then also you will be eligible for this particular scholarship. If any of these conditions will be applicable to you, you are eligible for this particular scholarship, right? Now, this is a category second scholarship, that is 20%. Now, this will be the applicable fees, and this is the scholarship. Similarly, in the category 3, this is the applicable percentage of scholarship. Now, this is the applicable fees. Now, let us suppose you are applicable for this particular scholarship based on any parameter, and based on 10 plus 2, you are coming in this flag. So best of any will be given to you, right? Now, coming to the another part, that is the scholarship we are offering on the many criteria, as I have told you earlier also. Scholarship based on the percentage qualification exam, that is in 10 plus 2. Scholarship on the basis of LPU Nest, I have already explained. On the basis of CVT, if your parents is in defense, there are NIFT, NIDs, UCED also we are offering the scholarships, and other special scholarships are also available, like innovation startup. You can see toppers of education board, and here the very clear step how to apply is clearly mentioned. You can apply very easily. I will explain you also then how you can apply for this particular program. Now coming to the most important part, that is the important dates. Now the question is, what is the last date to take the admission in this particular course? The last date is 25th of July. Now today is already 23rd. Now only 2 days are left to enroll for this particular course. So don't waste time. Hurry up and just search it out for this particular course from the website and enroll it, right? Now entrance exam dates are clearly mentioned here, and the result will come within 72 working hours. Now, if you want to apply from here, you will just click on this option, that is apply now. You will be able to apply, right? If you want to schedule a call from our university admission counselors, you can just click on this option. This is our WhatsApp helpline number. I am just reading it out for you. Please note it down: 9852569000. You can chat with our admission counselors, and you can take the informations and enroll for the admissions. This is a live video counseling option is also available in our university. This is the option LP in your town. You can search it out. If any counselor will be available in your city or nearby city, you can just search the state here, and you will be able to see that any counselor will be available or not. Let us suppose you want to select for Uttar Pradesh. Then you will be able to see this the city name, address, phone number, and the person who will be available over there, right? Now coming to the very important part, that is the phone number or the number from where you can contact our admission counselor. That is, you can note it down. I'm just again reading it for you: 01824 517 000. Then another is 01824 404404, right? And if you want to, let us suppose, check the syllabus of this particular B design course or some other course, maybe BTech or some other program as per the discipline, you can just open this link nest.lp.in, and you just have to search your discipline here first. Let us suppose this is your discipline, B design. And when you will click on this, again a new page will open, and it will contain the detailed information related to the syllabus, question paper pattern of LP Nest exam, syllabus of that, and sample questions also, right? So all these informations are available in this page, because our LP Nest exam is conducted in two modes. One is test center based, Another is a remotely proctored mode exam from remotely locations, right? I mean, online exam, and that will be monitored by your proctors. So these are all the information from my side, ma'am. It's done.
Thank you so much to our admission nominee, Mr. Deepak Upadhyay. And once again, thanks to our experts, Ms. Ishita Singh and Dr. Balvinder Kaur Dhaliwal. As we come to the end of this webinar, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our experts for sharing their valuable insights and expertise with us. Your presence, enthusiasm, and active participation have made this experience truly special. Hopefully, the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information for better decision making regarding admissions. If anyone wants to access this webinar again, they can visit our website, that is lpu.in, or can be accessed on YouTube also. Stay connected with us for future webinars. Until we meet again, with the permission of my seniors, I would be signing off this webinar. Take care and goodbye. Have a beautiful day.